Now you might say, hey, okay, I'll pay for the subscription, it's gonna work. Well, not so fast. Hello and welcome back, and in this video I'm gonna be talking about the cons of owning a 2020 XLE Hybrid Toyota. Now, in case you're new in this channel, make sure you sub to it. There's a lot of cool content over here, specifically reviews about things that you need, maybe you never actually need. But specifically, this is a car that I bought after doing lots of research about this, and I have decided it got everything that I need for me. And specifically, there was a lot of good things about this vehicle, but I want to talk about the bad in case you are interested, should you actually get this for yourself. So let's go ahead and without further ado, check out the issues with this car that I haven't covered in my first video. So one of the biggest cons of this car is being the passenger over here. Why is that? One, the seat is just not as comfortable as the pilot seat. And two, is this, the following right here. It has a manual control. It doesn't even come with the automatic, although I paid all this extra money for the hybrid version, and this is not the bottom of the line hybrid, which is RX. This one is XLE, which is supposedly the more expensive version of the hybrid, and yet I get this as my version of everything. It is total manual. I want to talk about specifically what is an issue with this car and why those scratches are a big deal. So why is that a big deal? It just seems like the scratches on the Toyota are much more noticeable, and it is much more easily scratched than any other vehicle I ever had, and plus it's very much showing off. And it's very small scratches that easily you just press on it with something and it easily scratches. It is a big deal because it makes it look really bad. Two is just the way the paint is, and the way the paint is on this car, just the way it is, it makes it just not look nice. It's just any kind of dirt and dust, and like if you have the snow, if you have some dirt going all around it, it just becomes a smudge of a job. And I never had this problem with this Subaru, but it seems this Toyota is really famous with that. The next issue is actually the grille itself. This is a big deal. This is a huge deal. The grille by itself has those humongous holes over here. I don't know who is the genius who thought about this. And the same thing with the intake as well. The problem is not the actual this, but the problem is what happens on the inside. And if you have locks, they can just go ahead and chip your radiator because it is so close to that. And there is no protective thing between both of them. If they put something protective right between, it wouldn't have been an issue. But it is because of that. This is a huge number two issue of this vehicle that you have to be aware of this. Next is the stock tires. Those tires are terrible. If you can go ahead and get better tires, go ahead and get them. Because the tires themselves, they're just not good. They always seems to let out the air. And the other issue with them is just they don't have the best grips to them whatsoever. Talking about grips, the brake system in this vehicle are pretty bad. When you brake, make sure you have extra space for braking. It is essential for you. This car takes a lot longer to brake than most vehicles I ever owned, which are SUV. Next is the seating issue here. And as you can see here, this is just because it has a battery all the way over here on the bottom. But the seats don't go all the way down. You can see how it is tinted over here. Now this could be a problem, especially if you're going to be transporting a bunch of goodies in your vehicle. And you want the seats to go low. And you can't. That's it. It's stuck right here. So this is big. It's a big deal for some people. Could be a deal breaker for some. Now listen to this when I'm going to be closing the door. And also the material itself, this material is nasty. It's just the way it feels. Actually, so closing the door, hear how cheap the sound actually makes. And the material inside, this is like cheap ass plastic too. Feel it. Really cheap. I'm really satisfied with that. And the build quality of this car is not the best in my opinion. Now next thing, in the back, you would think those guys would be able to do this, but it doesn't come with this, so you have to buy one of those to it. But I want to show you an issue here, and all the way over here, this is where the spare tire is. But I want to show you the cheap ass job they did here with the glue right here. You can see right there. And styrofoam. Come on, guys! You build this awesome vehicle and you go cheap over here. You think nobody's gonna look, and you can't even put a full-size spare tire in here. They put down this. Can you even fit an actual full spare tire? Maybe if you take half of this stuff out, but then you can't go ahead and close it up like this anymore. So that is also a big deal for people as well. And also, here, opening this up, there is no key to open it. You have to use this right here. Hear that? Sometimes it gets stuck. The circuits get stuck right now. It gets stuck. Out of luck if it's stuck like this. See? Now this is extremely annoying. So you can get this to get stuck and it won't open up anymore. And you might say, but hey, that's it shouldn't happen with a car this expensive. You shouldn't have this issue. Just go ahead and do this to it. Next thing, let's go to the drywalls side here. And sit down. So pretty much we have the material. The material itself. I like the material over here. There is the problem that I personally always bothers me is this. This is the first thing that bothers me. So you can see that the view, if you want to look over there, about an inch of thickness you have right here of something that doesn't let you see the road. And this is for shorter people an issue, not an issue for me as much because I'm much taller. I can see above it like this, but other people, if you're a pretty short person, well, this is gonna bug you a little bit. And even worse is not even that. This right here, this is massive right there. This is huge, and that is actually taking a lot of space. Not only it takes a lot of space, it actually blocks a lot of things that you can't actually see here. In case you need to see here something, or some people need to see something up there, you can't, because it's a lot of space that is just being out of view. This, and you can see the visibility in this vehicle. Down the visibility here. And in the back, the visibility is not too good. Not too good. And you can see over here. Yes, we have the backup camera, but there was a lot of stuff that is taking away space and visibility as well. One of the biggest pokes with this car, and actually that's not a good thing, is the key holder over here. And one of the things that it doesn't have is the ability for you to open up and start this remotely with this without a subscription. Now you might say, hey, okay, I'll pay for the subscription, it's gonna work. Well, not so fast. The XLE version of this car doesn't even have a remote start included, even with the subscription over here. In fact, I've got the wrong radio. So if you get this kind of a radio, tough luck to you. This radio is not the one that you need. with this specific package. If I got the right package, I would have gotten the one with the remote start, but this one is not it, so I'm not getting one. One more thing, the actual doors. See, it doesn't even go all the way. If you have to stick something in the car, tough luck to you, because that's the max it's going to open up for you. Thank you so much for getting all the way to the end of this video. If I did earn your subscription, make sure you subscribe to this channel. All the hate that I put on this car, it's not because I hate the vehicle. It is just things that Toyota should actually fix in the next version of this car. So maybe the new edition is gonna go ahead and become much better. Personally, this is my first Toyota I ever owned. I am not really happy with this specific version for a wide variety of facts. I think I overpaid for what I got, although you might think it's not really that overpaying, because at the time it was way cheaper when I got this, and it was just 2 years ago. I got this 1 month before COVID actually hit, and at the time that I got this, I was like, who even needs a car? I mean, it was weird because the gas prices were like super cheap, like almost zero at one point. That's anyway in the stock market. It was zero, but in reality it was pretty cheap at that point. And now everything is so much expensive. Now you have to ask yourself, if you're going to be getting one of those cars, should you get this for yourself? Is this the ride you actually want? Is this something you could live with? In a lot of ways, it's a very reliable vehicle, no problems, and it is a great car for you to get. And considering all the cons, it is still a good car. It is much better than some of the other vehicles out there for the same exact price. So whatever you think about it, make sure you post down below. Comment below what you think. Would you be getting one of those after you're watching this video? Are you satisfied with the one you have? And is this a good investment for your buck? Would you ever buy a Toyota again? Post down below, let's find out your answers.